Disney Plus launched, and it launched with over 10 million subscribers. Now, the launch didn't go smooth. There were a lot of reports of initially that first day of people not even being able to log in or download the app. I think the Android app came out like much later in the morning than what it did for some of the other platforms. What's going on? It's your boy CEOHaize, and this is the Film Frequency, and I'm back. So that means my brother is also in the building. What's going on, JayB?
What's going on CEOHaize? What is going on Film Family? What is going on Breaks Media? What is going on Hameen Media? What is going on every other person on the universe?
I guess we should at least address the fact that we had a very successful debut on the Hameen Media Group. One that me and you talked about, I think the day of the launch, and you kind of mentioned like, we'll probably get around 200, 250 downloads, and everything isn't about the download, so I don't want to make it just about that, but it is amazing when we set an expectation like that, and we're like at like almost 650 at this point, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I did think it was going to be around the 200 to 300 mark. Again, Hameen Media is known for a lot of different podcast, but I figured something movie is niche. It's predominantly wrestling stuff, but everybody came and supported, so I really appreciate that, and we'll see what's in store for the future.
Absolutely big shit ahead. Definitely, we want to thank you guys. Make sure you guys go, before you even get started, go and follow us on Twitter, which is the Film Bros Pod. I may take off the pod part because I think it's kind of redundant, but the Film Bros Pod. Go into our Facebook group, the Film Frequency Discussion Group, so that where we have a bunch of discussion about movies, and it's a really interactive group. We're doing some really good, fun stuff. We have some stuff planned for that group in the future too, so you want to make sure you're following us on both those platforms.
Absolutely, don't miss it. It's the content just keeps coming and coming. So again, like CEO he said, the Facebook group, we got Twitter going on. There's everything, and there's more coming.
Yep, strip club popping. You know how it go.
Champagnes, everything.
Yeah. But this week we're here to discuss some news. No full review this week, so this is going to be a shorter episode. But I guess we need to jump right into the thing that's been taken over. If you guys are on social media at all, or like almost in any type of discussion with film or movies, Disney Plus launched, and it launched with over 10 million subscribers. Now, the launch didn't go smooth. There were a lot of reports of initially that first day of people not even being able to log in or download the app. I think the Android app came out like much later in the morning than what it did for some of the other platforms. But by the time I had got off work that day, it was working fine. Me and the family watched a movie or two. I think I watched it that whole day. I almost exclusively watched content on Disney Plus that first day. So it was working fine for me that first day, but I know a lot of people ran into some issues there. But what do you think about this launch? 10 million subscribers on day one is huge. Just to put that in perspective, though, Netflix worldwide has over 150 something million, I think, when I looked into it.
I believe it's 158. I'm going to get to the 10 million in a second, but just to feed off of what you just said about people complaining about bugs and things like that, I went online and I was reading some crazy shit. I don't have Disney Plus. I'll probably just do a free trial just to see the interface and see how how it works and everything. But a lot of people were like really tripping. They're like, "Oh, they got bugs. This is gonna be the downfall of Disney." I'm like, "What the hell?" It's like day one. No matter what, a game comes out, a new app, there's going to be bugs. I mean, Apple's a gigantic company, and they do a new update, and they always have bugs. There's going to be bugs, so people need to relax and chill. So that's number one. Now, in regards to the 10 million, I have a little bit of an issue with this. So, CEOHaize, you have Disney Plus, correct?
I do.
How did you go about signing up for this?
I went to the website and signed up.
Okay, the free trial, or you just started paying, or how did it work?
Oh, no, I started with a free trial.
Okay.
I mean, it's a free 7 days. Why not? In case I hated it, off the off chance, I wasn't going to jump right in. So
right. So I started thinking about this, and 10 million, they got 10 million on day one. Now, how real is that 10 million? I'm sure the 10 million is accurate, but keep in mind, they're on a 7-day free trial. So a whole bunch of people are going to sign up because it's a free trial. Number two, Verizon, if you're a Verizon customer and you have that particular package, you get a year free. Verizon has about 100. The last time I checked, there was about 125, 130 million subscribers. So even if you take half of Verizon's customers, or even if you take 10% of Verizon's customers, that's the base right there for Disney Plus, who automatically have it for one year. Because when they released its 10 million subscribers, they didn't say it's paid subscribers; they just said it's
Well,
subscribers.
well, I mean, but we're wrestling fans. WWE
Right.
Network does the same thing with their network. Netflix, people, you can technically start a new email every month and get a new month of free Netflix. So I
Sure.
think if we're gonna break that down by what's free and who's actually on the paid subscription, a lot of these subscription services would get cut down some. For example, I'm a Hulu subscriber, but I have Hulu free through my Spotify account. So like it depends. Like I think overall, just having 10 million people use your service right away on day one is a huge number.
Of
We'll
course.
see how sustainable that is. Like I really think you really for whatever the number is, this first year almost is going to determine what it ultimately is and what how much this is going to thrive, because if you look at it, Disney Plus is going to be home of a lot of exclusive Marvel shows, some exclusive, the Star Wars shows already on there, but a lot of these shows haven't even launched on the service yet. So I know a lot of people are waiting out for that to see, if you're going to get a free trial, you might as well wait to make sure all the content you want to see is going to be in that week so you can try to consume all of it. So there's a lot of little things like that where I think that this number is still going to grow more over the next 6 months.
Yeah, no matter what, it's definitely going to grow. But I'm curious to see the business end of it. I think the first phase we're going to see that is probably at the end of December when the
Mhm.
fourth quarter numbers come in for Disney. I'm sure they're going to release that number in terms of how many paid subscribers they have, and it'll just be interesting to watch because we're definitely over the next 6 to 12 months going to see an active war going on between Netflix and Disney, and also there's a other boy coming to town in 2020, which is HBO Max. But we're not going to get too much into that. That's not coming until May of next year. But there's gonna be a war definitely.
I mean, when I think too, when you like with this, it's definitely going to be a war, like you said, the whole streaming thing. But I think we lose by this in the long run, and the reason why I say that is because we all wanted to get away from the cable subscription service, right?
Right.
But but all we're going to end up doing is all these streaming services are going to end up being in bundles, and what is that going to equate to? The same thing as the fucking cable,
Yep.
the cable platform service. So I think in the long run, it's all going to be go back to like a virgin a
Uh,
version of what we're used to. Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to boil down to that. I think it's going to be Netflix and this Disney Plus service are probably going to be the pillars, with HBO Max and Hulu and kind of stuff all falling beneath that a little bit. I think for me, like logging into the Disney service and seeing a lot of these shows, that nostalgia factor, there's no way to really to put that into words, like what it means to see some of these shows that automatically put me back. Like they have all of Boy Meets World there, not the reboot, the original.
the good
And
stuff.
so yeah, the good stuff like that. And so they have a solid base of like hitting us in the feels. Now it's going to be what that exclusive content is that they're coming out with, what that's going to be like to keep this going for a long period of time.
Right. And on the flip side, and not to change the subject, but on the flip side, we have that nostalgic feeling as well with with Nickelodeon joining with Netflix. We
Yeah.
got Nickflix, if you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I was just reading up on some of this stuff. I mean, with Nickelodeon, I remember when I was a kid, things like Rugrats, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Cat Dog, so many different shows that we're gonna get to see now through Netflix. Not
But
only
are
that,
we?
yeah, absolutely.
Because what I read with the Netflix and it's been some conflicting stuff, is because what I read is that this isn't going to be like Disney with all the old shows. I mean, this deal is to specifically create new cartoons and reboot some old ones. So it's not going to be like all of the old shows automatically pop up on there.
So according to what I read, and I may be wrong, is they're going to have the old content available, but in addition to the old content, they're going to be also doing reboots, and they're also going to be doing remakes and things like that, and kind of bringing it back. Like, they saw the success Netflix had with Full House, so you have shows like Keenan and Kel, all that old, Hey Dude, Salute Your Shorts, all these old Nickelodeon shows that they can possibly reboot. And the cool thing is, these type of shows you can't really show on the Nickelodeon channel, but because of Netflix and the way Netflix is set up, you can have a more imagine having a more PG-13 version of Doug or a more PG-13 version of, one of these other shows. So I'm okay if they don't have the old content, but as far as I read, they will have the old content, at least trickling in. But even if they do reboots of these shows, I'll be excited to watch it because it'll be a different take. It won't be a rated G take. It might be a PG-13 take. So it'll be interesting to watch and see what they do.
So what I'm reading right now on this is an editorial on Rotten Tomatoes. It says that this deal, the Nickelodeon deal, includes a wave of nostalgia. So some of the old shows will be available, but this is primarily going to be to reboot new shows. They have a SpongeBob spinoff coming, a revival of Rugrats, return of Jimmy Neutron, and Retroville. I don't know what Retroville. That must have been after my time. So it's I mean, if they bring back, I'm all for it. Like, if they bring back all the new shows, that would be the smartest thing to do in this deal, as well as reboot them. Nickelodeon, it's still a force. My kids still watch Nickelodeon, so
Sure.
those characters are iconic. So if they're bringing back some of that nostalgia with that too, then I'm all for it. I initially didn't think that that's what they were doing, but that sounds like a smarter way to use these characters. So.
Yeah, and it's a multi-year deal, so I'm sure they're not going to give away the house all in the beginning. I'm sure it'll trickle in, and little by little we'll get more and more. But yeah, I mean, they got a lot of things. I mean, they got the Power Rangers, got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, there's a wide array of things, and I think it'll be even for a more like our kind of age, like the 30-year-olds, because
Yeah.
this is stuff from when we were kids. I mean, your kids might not necessarily know who the hell Doug is.
Yeah. Bring back Are You Afraid of the Dark? Bring that shit back.
Exactly.
There's actually a show on Netflix called, I think it's Creeper. It's something, The Creep, something like that. And it's very much like Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's like all horror stuff, but no like actual killing or gore. I'm sorry, I'm getting on the tangent. But yeah, it's I like hearing that. And Netflix is smart. One thing that Netflix has done is Netflix is prepared for this. Like Disney pulling all their content off Netflix eventually. Like there's still some on it now, but though as those deals expire, you look at HBO Max as anything that's on there. But Netflix is setting itself up to where it's really all a lot of new content Netflix constantly pushes out. Like I know you probably see it too, bro. Like when you log into Netflix now, they're like new Netflix originals. There's like a new one every week now, and I think what they're doing is, yeah, they're throwing out a lot right now, but they're trying to see what type of content is going to stick. Because once like this third party content all becomes on its own streaming platform, they need to be positioned in a way that it's still going to be as attractive. So they're
Yeah,
doing that good.
Yeah, and I think if it wasn't for the fact that Netflix comes out with a lot of original stuff, they would be, I said it before, like they might be nervous with this new Nickelodeon deal, and also the fact that they're spitting out original content, and not only spitting out original content, but quality original content. They're gonna hold their own. They're not just gonna lay down and die. They're gonna hold their own. And Disney, as far as I know, I don't know how much they're gonna do original content, but I don't know how much into what capacity they're gonna do it at.
Well, the thing with Disney is, and I think that this may hurt them in the long run if this is going to be the permanent model, with all like the Marvel shows and even the Mandalorian, which is the Star Wars show that they're doing, they put movie budgets behind it. And my thing with that is the reason why I think Netflix's model works so good is that Netflix has become the place where a lot of low budget movie goes. Like Blumhouse puts a lot of their low budget stuff that they're not going to go into theaters on Netflix exclusively, and they're able to thrive that way because not everything is this high budget. Now Disney is a much bigger animal and a much bigger beast. They own everything, so maybe they can afford to do that if their subscriber numbers keep at a certain level. I would love to know like what subscriber number they need to hit to be profitable, because everyone has that magic number. But if they're going to put these $100 million budgets behind TV shows, it's not going to be many of them. You have to kind of break that up if you want to, in my opinion, if you want to be successful. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Absolutely, and you were just naming some on Netflix bringing in movies, and I think that's a good segue to get into our next news topic. Actually,
Yeah, let's get into the next one. So, Beverly Hills Cop 4, is that the one you're referring to?
yes, sir.
Since we are talking about Netflix, is coming to Netflix. It's part of Eddie Murphy's deal. This is interesting to me because I in this deal with Eddie Murphy and Netflix, I never thought about the fact of Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming back, or that character at all, because it's not like Eddie Murphy owns that character himself. So they had to work out a deal with, is it Paramount, I believe, that owns Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's Paramount Pictures.
so they had to work out a deal with them also. But we've like they had a Beverly Hills Cop TV show try to get off the ground that Eddie Murphy was actually involved in. I don't know if it like I know they filmed the pilot. I don't know if the series ever like went to air or anything. So they've been trying to get this property back. Netflix is the perfect place for something like this. Something that it has name recognition. It may not bring in the box office numbers to support doing a big budget film on, but Eddie Murphy's riding high off Dolomite Is My Name. This is a perfect announcement for Netflix in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we did Dolomite Is My Name. If you didn't listen to the review, go ahead and check that out right now. But Eddie Murphy, we said it. We both called it. Eddie Murphy is back, and he had Dolomite. Coming to America 2 is coming out, and he has this. I think this is a win-win situation all the way around. It's a win-win for Eddie Murphy because he gets to bring back Axel Foley, a character I actually love. I love the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy. The third part was actually, even though usually the trilogies, the last ones are the worst ones. For me, Beverly Hills Cop 3 was the best one. Okay. So I'm excited to see another one. So we got Axel Foley coming back. It's good for Netflix because now they got another original content. And I think the biggest winner here is Paramount Pictures because let's be real. If I'm Paramount Pictures, I'm thinking, I did Gemini Man, huge star, Will Smith, box office flop. I did another huge movie, Terminator, Dark Fate, box office flop. We can argue about how good the movie was and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, money-wise, both of them were box office flops. This gives them a chance to come out with something that, like you said, has name recognition. However, they don't have to have a huge budget behind it, and they don't have to worry about it being a box office flop because it's going straight to Netflix. And not to mention, the deal that they've worked out. It's a one movie deal, and the second movie is for the studio option. So if it is a success, Paramount has the option to do a second movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart deal all the way around. I think that this is one of those situations where it's a win-win for everyone. If Netflix, if it's not huge on Netflix, it's okay. We didn't create anything original here. Paramount, if they can get brand or like a buzz back around the brand name of Beverly Hills Cop, you can go a lot of different ways with it. You can do a show based in that universe on Netflix. Like you can do a lot of different things with this. And I think like you make a great point. You mentioned like Terminator being a flop and like trying to bring back some of these brands. And we kind of talked about it then. Like, do you think not like a lot of the old 80s and 90s brands that people are trying to bring back that are failing to come back in the mainstream sense, is Netflix more of a route to go with stuff like this?
Yeah, I think it's a safer route. Yeah. It's a safer route because you don't need to it doesn't have to be a big budget that's going to be on the big screen. It's more of a test or a feeler. You do a small movie on Netflix, you're still going to have a decent budget, but you're going to do a decent movie on Netflix. If there's buzz around it and you see there's hype, that's when you bring it to the big screen. That's when you make your multi-millions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's smart all the way around. This is a great deal. But are you ready to move into the next bit of news?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So the next thing that we got, so Tom Holland had been previously announced as being part of this Uncharted movie in the role of Nathan Drake, which I like Tom Holland. I don't see it in that role, to be honest with you. Like, he's a kid. He very much, he's not. He's like 21 now, but I see him younger. Maybe they're going to be telling the story of a younger Nathan Drake. I don't know. But they cast Mark Wahlberg as his father figure, his mentor, Sully. And that is a great casting, in my opinion, for Mark Wahlberg. What do you think about this Uncharted movie? I know you love the game series, as do I. I think that's one of the series that there's no wink link in the game. There are 4 games and 2 spinoffs, and they're all good.
Absolutely. I'm not a huge gamer, but when these games came out, man, I was like, my wife was yelling, like, go to sleep. You have to wake up in 3 hours. And I was on this shit. Uncharted 4, I was all over that sucker. I've been clamming for a movie. And they've always come out with news, an Uncharted movie's going to come out. And some shit always goes wrong to the point where fans, if you go on YouTube right now, fans actually did like a 30 or 20-minute fan fiction movie that was actually really good. It was just some random person made a movie. It was like 20 minutes on Nathan Drake. Now, in regards to the casting, I agree with you 100%. Holland is good, but I don't see him as the Nathan Drake character. And I know you might disagree with me, but I don't see Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I actually can see Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
And give me someone older, a little bit, because Sully, I feel, is like a little bit of an older character. I don't feel Mark Wahlberg is old enough to be Sully. I feel like that should be like a witty. I could see like a witty, maybe I don't know, someone who's witty, maybe like Jack Nicholson. I don't know if he's too old for that.
We'll talk about Jack Nicholson because there's rumors of him having Alzheimer's, and that's why he like wasn't
Mhm.
even in Doctor Sleep or didn't make an appearance or whatnot. So I just don't think that it's an option for him to be in any movie in the future.
I got you. And by the way, the day this actual episode drops, it should be Monday. I don't know when you're listening to it, but it should be Monday. In a couple of days, we'll be having. I hope it actually comes out though. My only issues with this is, first of all, I know there's a bad connotation when it comes to games coming into movies, but we've had successes too. We've had Resident Evil, Tomb Raider. We've had successes. The only problem that is dropped December 18th, 2020, and on that same day, Coming to America 2 is coming out, and West Side Story is coming out. It'd be something huge, but Steven's name is behind it, so it's going to get eyes. Do you think it's right that they're dropping with Coming to America, or should they have picked a date with not so much competition coming out?
Here's my opinion: is that it's a completely different type of audience. I think at least in what I see the Uncharted movie being is an action movie.
Right.
So and that's a comedy, and it may be actually a great one-two punch to have those two things in theaters on that weekend. What you said is December 28th, right?
December 18th.
18th. So that's the week before Christmas, right? A week
Exactly.
before Christmas. So even leading into the Christmas weekend, you got kids on Christmas break who may see multiple movies over there. I can see both movies being successful. It'd be different if it was like launching against like the next Mission Impossible or Jason Bourne movie, something that may eat some of its audience. So I think there's a chance they both might be successful.
Yeah, that's a great point actually, because it's different genres. So, like you said, the kids might go one weekend, they see Uncharted. The parents might want to see Coming to America,
Yeah.
and I'm not really sure who's going to be seeing West Side Story, but I'm sure the girls are going to take their husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends and side pieces and whatnot to
Yeah.
go watch
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like Coming to America. I don't expect to be unless it's amazing. I don't expect it to be a huge box office success. Only off the fact of like our generation cares about Coming to America. No one else cares about Coming to America. They don't.
Yeah, I'm
So
when we do our Doctor Sleep review, I want to continue that exact discussion because I have something to say about that. But I'll keep it for a couple days from now when we do our Doctor Sleep. I think you know where I'm going with it
yeah,
already.
I know, because I've kind of expected that that's where we'll go with that. But we got one more piece of news, just one last one.
A good one.
A good one, a great one. So The Rock was originally cast as Black Adam, I believe, like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't have the exact dates in front of me. The movie got silent, completely silent for a while. Black Adam was actually supposed to be what the Suicide Squad was after in the Suicide Squad movie. So that's how long ago this character in The Rock was supposed to appear as Black Adam. The success of Shazam, I think, push this forward because they want to do Shazam versus Black Adam. So he finally announced, he released the first poster for it. We're getting Black Adam December 22nd, 2001. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
2001.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? 2021. Back in time, bro. We're going to have to go back in time to watch the movie. But yeah, 2021.
That's all good. But here's the thing. For those, I know who Black Adam is, but for those who don't know who Black Adam is, you're a comic head, way more a comic head than I am. Can you explain to the people what the Black Adam character is all about?
So, if anyone who saw the Shazam movie, when the Wizard was talking to Shazam, Billy Batson's character, and said there was another before him that basically turned and used the power to release the seven deadly sins, and they showed someone in the cape, looks like it was Shazam outfit. That was Black Adam. He's basically the anti Shazam. He has the same power. He pulls his power from the same sources, but he uses it as evil. So he's an evil wizard. His main villain was basically the opposite of them. And so that's what that is. He's the opposite of Shazam in a way. He has the same exact power set for the most part. Matter of fact, if you saw the Shazam movie, the villain in there, that's pretty much his Black Adam's power. So it's going to be interesting to like how they make those different characters. But he's one of the most badasses. He's damn near killed Superman in the past. Superman and Shazam had to team up to take him down before. He's a legit great villain. So, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, is he evil to the fact of like a villain? Because isn't he like, yes, he does bad things, but at the end of the day, he just wants justice. Is he considered like a tweener, or
So they've made him more of an anti-hero the last 5 years or so. Anti-heroes are all the thing nowadays. Like they want to add depth to villains, and that's fine. So it depends on what way they're going to go with him. With him having his own movie, they probably are going to go the anti-hero route. It is that he does want justice. He does want the world to be safe in a sense, but he's willing to go to dark places and use dark magic to get there.
right? Now, here's what I want to know, and you probably know more about this than I do. How in the hell has it taken this long for The Rock to be casted in some kind of comic universe movie, whether it's DC or Marvel? Was this Rock was waiting for the right role, or was somebody waiting for the right role to cast Rock? I mean, Rock is probably the top actor out there, and not to mention he has the fan base. He definitely has the look. He has the charm. He has the charisma to be in these type of movies. Why the hell did it take so long for The Rock to get a role in one of these movies?
I think it was okay. So I think that's kind of twofold. I say at first it was because like The Rock was such a big star. Even in the Marvel movies, they weren't casting huge stars initially. The DC universe, they weren't casting huge stars either. Like Ben Affleck was probably the biggest one that they cast, like after the whole Christian Bale thing. But they never really went after huge stars. And I also think like the price that the Rock costs and the audience that he brings with him, it does make sense for him to be a comic book character. But I mean, he was cast as Black Adam so long ago that I think that's probably why Marvel never tried to touch him. It's because it's like, well, we know you're going to be Black Adam, so why would we cast you? Like, yeah, the movie never really got off the ground, but I'm sure that put him off for a while. He was actually cast as Black Adam in 2009. That's 10 years ago.
Wow, bro, that's crazy. Yeah,
10
so
years ago.
they probably figured like at some point he's gonna be Black Adam, and he's probably The Rock probably had it in his mind, and who knows, maybe even on paper that that's it. He's gonna be Black Adam. So obviously, if he's Black Adam, he can't take on any other character.
Yeah. And think the Marvel universe, as far as like the MCU, is only 11 years old. So if he was cast 10 years ago, it was very early on in the MCU. So that's probably why they didn't touch him.
They locked him up, correct?
Yeah. So there you go.
So the last thing, anything else? Any other news, bro?
I got nothing else.
Okay, so the last thing, and this is something that we're going to be doing, every time we do these news sessions, we're going to have something called Ask the Film Bros. You can send in a DM, you can send a message. We'll start shooting out our emails, so you can email us. But we had a couple emails and a couple things come in, but we're just going to go through one of them. It happened to be the first one that came in. It's from a longtime friend of ours, CEOHaize, Mr. Coop, Gerald Cooper.
Cool.
And Coop asked on Facebook, again, you can go to our Facebook group, The Film Frequency, just search it on Facebook. Have a massive group going on, a lot of great discussions, a lot of great people, so get it. And come and join us. But anyway, Coop asked, what is our favorite Darren Aronofsky film?
Okay, so I'm gonna crush Coop's heart right quick for a second. Because Mother sucked, and I know he loved it. Mother was a terrible ass movie. It sucked balls, and it actually bored me. And I've tried to watch it 3 times, and I fell asleep like 20 minutes in every fucking single time. But that's just something I wanted to throw his way. But I think my favorite film of his is, man, it's either The Wrestler or Black Swan. But I think I'm gonna pick The Wrestler only because of we never got someone a respect being put into a story about wrestling like that before. The behind the scenes, everything, like showing what they go through, showing the passion that's behind it. And we're wrestling fans, so that really spoke to me. So yeah, I'd have to pick The Wrestler.
Yeah, and Darren Aronofsky, I mean, he made some great movies. He made Pie.
Yep.
Requiem for a Dream was a huge one. The Wrestler, like you said, Black Swan. No, it was controversial. Now you talk about The Mother. I don't know how the hell Coop likes The Mother because the movie was absolutely horrible. CEO, you posted the other day on the Facebook group. You asked, I believe it was you that asked, has anyone ever walked out in a movie theater? What movie have you watched? And I posted that I the day I went to go see it when it one was out, it was booked, and the only other movie that was available with that showing was Mother. And I went to see it with my wife, and numerous times I literally looked at the door. I'm like, maybe I should just leave because the movie was freaking horrible, which is crazy because Jennifer Lawrence is a great actress, and oh my god, it was just god awful. But to answer the question, my favorite Darren Aronofsky movie, hands down, 100% without a shadow of a doubt, is The Wrestler for a lot of the reasons you said. We're old wrestling guys, and forget about wrestling. And I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Regardless if you're a wrestling fan or not, this movie will speak to you. The story behind it, it's just a guy, and it's sort of an underdog story, but at the same time, it's kind of a sad story. And if you haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor. Mickey Rourke, you already know the name Mickey Rourke.
His
He's an
best
amazing
role.
actor. Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
hands down.
his
And
best role.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure he won. Didn't he win something for this, or at least was nominated?
I think he was nominated. I don't know if he won or not.
Yeah. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not 100% positive if he won, but I'm pretty positive he was nominated. At any rate, though, hands down, again, The Wrestler was my favorite movie by Darren Aronofsky. So, Coop, thank you so much for giving us that question. And again, for everyone else out there, if you have anything to ask, feel free. If we got enough of these, we'll probably do more than one. But for now, we'll just pick one to generate some hype, and we'll go from there.
Yep, that's it. But that has been another episode with the news recap. Like I said at the top of the show, you guys can follow us at the Film Bros and make sure you go and check out our Facebook page, the Film Frequency Discussion Group. JB, you want to leave them your social media?
Absolutely. I can be reached on Twitter at the P1JB. That's at THE P1JB. And of course, I'm on Facebook. Good luck finding me, but I'll probably have the longest name on the Facebook group. It's Javed, Javed. Last name is Bashrulla, Basheerulla.
All right, and you guys can follow me at CEOHaize. That's CEOHaize. And we'll see you lovely and beautiful people next week, where we're going to be. Oh, well, we'll catch you in a couple of days with a mini review for Dr. Sleep. And after that, we have the week after that, we have a full review dropping for The Irishman. So make sure you guys go and check that out.
Right, and for those everyone who's listening on Breaks Media, you're gonna get the Doctor Sleep review in a couple of days. Unfortunately, for the Hami Media, Big Ray and Ben Hameen is not paying us enough, so we won't be having the Doctor Sleep review. However, you can catch that on our actual feed for Film Frequency. You can just go on iTunes, or CEO can tell you how to reach us through iTunes.
You can, for there, just search Film Frequency on every podcasting platform. You can find us. That will be on our solo feed. So,
and that's about it.
That's it. Peace.